Gemini.
Hello Gemini, this is your March forecast for 2017, and this is the time of year where you shine and radiate the most within your career. So let's talk about your career. You have the Sun and Mercury, and you also have Neptune here in this area, allowing you now to really reach for the stars. And the Sun will bring you opportunities, perhaps some interviews or reviews, perhaps any kind of negotiation. This is the month for you to really step it up and verbalize where you see yourself, not just for the rest of 2017, but where you see yourself down the road. Don't be shy, don't hold back. Thank God that you have the gift of gab, which allows you to really express what it is that you do want. For those of you who are self-employed, well, this could be a month where a lot can come to the surface. You want to grab those opportunities, right? And for the rest of you, maybe that have been out and about looking for a job, this could be the month where you can land something, all right? So we want to see that happen, and especially because the rest of the planets here, of the inner planets, are in the neighboring house, the 11th house for hopes and dreams. So here we have your career, and here we have your hopes and dreams. We got Venus, Mars, and Uranus, plus the new moon here. This month, just watch. It's going to be super busy. It's going to be very social. You will have people coming and going and visiting you. Maybe you will be visiting them. New people coming in, being introduced to you that could turn out not just to be very supportive of what it is you do, Gemini, but it could also be people coming in that can open up and become long-term new friends. The new moon is not before later in the month. We'll see that on the 27th, but this is the area where you want to plant your intentions. And which intentions should that be? Well, anything that is Uranian. The 11th house is ruled by Uranus, which induces change, that brings us forward in leaps and bounds, and in very untraditional ways too. Saturn is what we consider traditional, something that secures us, right? Which is more square as far as format goes in our life, but Uranus is very round, right? It likes change. So if you're feeling that you've been wanting change, but where is it? Well, this would be the month that you can come to see that something might just fling open for you. As far as new opportunities, like we said, with career or the goals that you hold close to heart. But it could also just be in the way that you approach new groups and organizations, the people that you will encounter there. It's a refreshing breath of air, and you might just be that source. Excuse me. And you might just be that source of inspiration for them, because you're the one representing Venus, which is love and creativity, and Mars, which is all that dynamic energy that you hold. So especially when these planets now will conjunct up towards Uranus, that's when you can expect action to hit. So it's not going to be right away here with Venus, but Mars is pretty close to that Uranus. It's only 1 degree away as we start off the month, so we'll see when that kicks into action. But there is a little bit of unsettled energy too, and that is the opposition that we have between Jupiter and Uranus here, not just this month. Jupiter will go retrograde February 6th through that of June 10th. So what we can see there is political unrest and instability as well. And we can see already there's demonstrations out and about worldwide, right? Because Jupiter rules the law, it rules politics. If you're affiliated with any idealistic groups, that would also be Jupiter, and it could be Uranus there within groups. Think about the Dakota Pipeline, for example, right? Mars is infusing this opposition. So we will come to experience that there's a lot of heat going on, and that is globally, but what will it do for you personally? In your chart, this will be between you and maybe some friends might need to agree to disagree, and that's all okay. We know that the nation is somewhat divided on certain things, so you could come to experience that with some friends as well. But remember though, it is okay to agree to disagree. Even this shall pass. So we just want to take it a little careful there that first week as Mars is moving over that Uranus there. But what it can do for you is really prompt you to jump into new situations where you could be called to the forefront. Mars is very potent right now moving forward. Uranus will infuse it with the power of change and liberation. So we can come to see that we might up things here in March. Venus will be going retrograde from March 4th through April 15th, and that will also be in this area of your hopes, your dreams, where you're navigating towards the higher potential of yourself, the people that you meet, the love that you feel in your heart. I also see that you can rejoin with friends you haven't seen for a long time for whatever reason. They might start trickling out of the woodwork. You can have some great interactions with them. So we have until June. So all spring, you're lucky to have it in this area because the 11th house is a playful house. Then Saturn, not before next month in April, he will retrograde. And for you, that will be your relationships. It will retrograde into that of August 26th. So what I'd like to suggest is get your ducks in a row in your relationship, Gemini. If there are things that you need, you know that needs to be discussed or balanced out, do it while he's direct, because then you have this flow of interaction. I can see how many of you are really trying to find that perfect balance between the two of you. But when he retrogrades, that's going to bring up these issues from the past, and it might be, I won't say necessarily more difficult, it could be, depending on which other planets will aspect Saturn as we go through spring and summer and into autumn. Of course, there could be times where it could be a little heavier than other times, but it's definitely going to want to square away a few things. So do it while it is direct. So you won't have that before end of August coming into September, next chance around. The beginning of the month, I feel that you are in a place here and not just looking for, it's actually reaching for, initiating something of value that I feel you've been dreaming about for months and months. So this is an opportunity. If you choose to take it, you can have some great conversations about this in these first few days of the month. I see that you, having the gift of gab that you have, is able now to implement your vision. Maybe it's something that you're going to be writing about or speaking about, but you know what? It's time to express. I see that you'll do it, and if you're asking for permission from any higher ups, I feel the green light for you will be on the 5th. This is what I see you locking in, something of importance, of value. This is going to send you off in the second week there of March. And it's transformational. Whatever it is you're going to do, it's very potent. Maybe you're reporting something. In that case, you're reporting something that has a lot of oomph to it. Pluto is involved. You're in a good place. And I feel that you're such a great observer of things, Gemini. And you can take it and you can express it in a way that it will make a whole lot of sense to everybody else. Okay, so we need you. We need you. On the 10th, though, Mars, your drive and passion will then have passed the whole thing about Uranus. So, I mean, talk about a very busy start of the month for you. But then you can pull back and rest up a little bit. And I think that Mars is going to need it because it is busy the first 2 weeks. In the 12th house, on the 10th and onwards, this is you now pulling back to think, what do I want to do now? Where do I want to go? Because you've accomplished a near 2-year cycle now as he pulls in to this resting spot. And it's powering up because once Mars gets into your first house, you're starting off on a new 2-year cycles. It's time to review where you've been, find the things that you're really super happy for, and tell yourself you want more of that. And it's also time to kind of let go of a few things that you now know is already accomplished, right? So it's more like hitting the reset button. Then the 12th to the 17th, we got a week where things, communications, agreements, dialogues might be a little bit more challenging. You're really going to have to ask yourself maybe once or twice before you give any final answers. And it is because the way Saturn is coming in, you might be a little challenged to really dig deep to figure out what feels secure for you, Gemini, and what doesn't. You don't just want to think short term on whatever these matters are. You definitely do want to think in longer terms. How is it going to look like for you, say 3, 6 months, 12 months down the road, 5 years from now? This is you, your personal inner self, and your communication with your partner or somebody that you work with closely one-on-one. This is the arena of where this is going to take place. So don't be too quick to jump to conclusions. At least you have this week to work with it before you give any kind of final answer. On the 20th, the sun moves into Aries, so you're going to feel that much more spunky. You're up and out. I feel in this area, this place, you are joining the crowd where Venus and Mars just was, right? Venus is still there. So you're shifting from the focus on career alone and now be able to join the party here with a crowd of your social activities, your friends, these groups. Some of you are going to be traveling maybe a little bit to get these things, these needs met. But the 24th, there is a decision. I feel you already know it, what you want before you get there. So that's not going to be a difficult decision, but it is something that will mark something special for you. 25th, 26th, and the 27th. This is great days. There is love, and there's harmony, there's unexpected excitement taking place. You might change things up in a way that you normally don't do. So there's even you surprising yourself here. But it's joyful. Mars is in a beautiful aspect here to Neptune. So this is the goals that you're working at, and you're feeling that you have this underlying drive now to fulfill, to create and fulfill. And you're definitely doing it. And some of you might just even be doing it from behind the veil, behind the scenes, quietly for now, waiting for Mars to get into that first house. Then you can reveal it to the rest of the world. But yeah, no, I feel that it's a month where you are getting everything set. When you listen back here to what took place in February with your eclipses, I feel that did certain things for many of you. You might want to leave a comment down below what the eclipses did do for you. Both the things that you let go of and what you really opened up for. Why? Because when you leave those comments, you're helping your fellow Geminis to see where they are on their path and vice versa too. So I think that could be exciting for all of you. But yes, the full moon we have on March 12th, for you, that's going to be in the area of home and family. And so this is where the stage is going to be lit. You might have a central role right there. The new moon is on the 27th in the area of your hopes and dreams. So that's where you want to place your intentions. And listen, if you're really curious about what's taking place with these dynamic aspects, which in your sun sign is the 10th and 11th house, where do they show up in your moon or rising chart? You can find it right here by going to the little I button of information. You'll find the playlist. All the sun signs are there, so you can easily find them without having to go search and look for them. So listen, Gemini, I will see you next month. In the meanwhile, go have a wonderful month.